If you want to extend the battery lifespan on POCO F7, here's what you can do. So first of all, we're gonna go to settings and we can start with the battery settings. Of course, we can use something like the battery saver or even the ultra battery saver if you want to, for now, increase the time left before you need to charge your phone again. Of course, you don't have to use it all the time. You can use it only in specific situations where you need to keep the battery alive for as long as possible, because right now you cannot really charge your phone, so you can of course use that. Besides that, we also have battery checkup, which we can use from time to time and use suggestions which are pretty good for increasing or improving the battery life. Of course, we don't have to choose everything. We can decide by ourselves what you want to include, what you want to enable or disable. For example, over here we also have this high power consumption section where we can see for example, apps that can be closed because they drain the battery, so you can select them. You can also use the suggestions, so you can, for example, enable dark mode. You can disable always on display and so on and so forth. As you can see, there are lots of different things, and you can also see things that are already optimized. So instead of going through different settings, such as the display settings, location settings, and so on, you can just go to this checkup and you can see by yourself what you can do to increase the battery life for now. Of course, these I assume are not all the things that we can do. At least there are some things that I see are missing, which can be also used on this phone in order to improve the battery life. So I'm gonna mention that in a second. But for now, we're gonna also go to charging options. Over here we have wired charging mode, which can be set to standard or top speed, and this is more or less the fast charging option. So of course, this depends if you believe that fast charging option makes battery aging quicker or not. So you might want to turn this option on or off. So just for the sake of keep in mind that the top speed option may increase battery aging or speed up the process of battery aging. You might want to switch to standard. And besides that, we have battery protection, which is also pretty crucial. Besides the information about our battery, we also have the charging protection, which I strongly recommend using, at least the smart charging option, if you have some sort of charging pattern. But essentially, if you use charge fully, then you can just charge your battery to 100% all the time, and you don't have any issues with, being stuck at 80%. Battery protection limits battery charging to 80%. You cannot exceed 80%. And smart charging is similar. However, this also includes learning of the charging patterns. So if you use this option for a while, then after that time, the phone can recognize when you are about to unplug the charger. So for example, if you always charge your phone at a given time of the day, then after some time the phone can pick that up, it can learn that. And when the phone knows or thinks that soon you will disconnect the charger, it will start charging again from 80% to 100%. Before that, it will limit to 80%. Now, you may notice that 80% is something that occurs quite often in terms of battery protection, and the reason for that is quite simple. Most, if not every modern smartphone or its battery actually, is built in a way that the most optimal usage of the battery is between 20 and 80%. So when you are at 20%, it is the perfect time to start charging the phone, and when you are at 80% while charging, it is a perfect time to stop charging. That's why we have these limits. Of course, I understand that for some people this can be quite annoying to use because we don't truly fully charge the battery. So from time to time, of course, we can switch to this option, or you can try to get used to it. It's really up to personal preference. And we also have additional features which can also be used. However, they are quite niche, I would say. They aren't really that popular. But nevertheless, we have 5G battery saver, so we can make 5G connectivity less power consuming in certain scenarios. It's not really explained what scenarios we are talking about, but yeah, we can do that. So you can turn this option on, which can definitely save the battery a little bit. And we also have cold endurance mode, which can also be quite useful, especially if you live in an environment which is, in theory, often cold. All right, so these are all battery settings, and I also mentioned one more thing that wasn't in the battery checkup section. So we're gonna go to location in the settings, and then we're gonna go to location services, and what you can do is you can disable these two scanning options, Wi-Fi scanning and Bluetooth scanning. These do not have to be enabled all the time. You don't want to keep them all the time enabled because they can drain the battery quite a bit. So you want to turn them off, and of course when the phone needs them to be enabled, you will be informed about it and you will have the option to turn it back on. But remember to keep it off all the time or as long as possible when not needed. It will definitely help you save some battery. And of course, we also have to consider such things as Wi-Fi and mobile data and Bluetooth or even NFC, meaning that if you are not using any of these things, you can turn them off, because obviously if no Bluetooth device is connected at a given moment, there is no need to keep this on, and when Bluetooth is enabled, of course, use more battery. So you want to turn it off when nothing is connected. If you are outside of your home, you don't have access to Wi-Fi, there is no need to keep Wi-Fi enabled, and the same goes with mobile data and NFC. So just a small tip regarding that. And that's all. If there is something that I didn't mention, but you think can be also quite helpful for extending battery lifespan on this phone, you can mention it in the comments below. And yeah, thanks for watching, leave a like and subscribe.